Let's talk about prepositions. Prepositions are most difficult for non-native speakers, but even if you are a native English speaker, you'll want to stick around and catch the 6th point of this video because that'll help you a lot when we start talking about subject-verb agreement in the future in this class. But let's start off with what prepositions are and what they do. Prepositions generally come in 6 different forms, and the first 3 are the easiest to deal with. Draw a circle on your paper and anything that can tell you time, place, or direction about that circle is a preposition. The 2 most often confused prepositions I see are the prepositions on and in. And I think by drawing this circle on your paper and noticing where you put the words on and in will help you to determine which one of those words that you want to use in your essay. Again, you can see lots of directions going on here, lots of location. And so that's our primary use for prepositions in our essays to tell time, location, direction, things that help people understand what we're talking about. Where prepositions get difficult is when we deal with these next 3 ways the prepositions can show up in your paper. Prepositions can be used as agents. We use this to show cause between 2 things. You can see here in our example sentence that the picture was made by my 5-year-old son. The word by here is a preposition and it links the picture to my 5-year-old son. The most difficult, I think, when it comes to non-native speakers is choosing the word that comes after the preposition, and that happens here when we deal with prepositions of instruments and devices. By and with are the most common prepositions to help us explain how something happened, but how we do that needs to be carefully constructed. You can see here in our first example, businesses can calculate how much to charge for a product by constructing a demand curve. This is not the proper way to write this sentence. Take a look at the verb, or take a look at the word constructing that comes after the word by. To a lot of students, the word constructing looks like a verb, but if you look closely, you'll see that the word constructing ends in the letters ing. And anytime you add ing onto the end of a verb, you have turned that verb into a noun. And so, what you want to do is when you're trying to show these instruments and devices, you want to make sure the word that comes after your preposition is a verb. And that's why we've gotten rid of the word constructing and moved to the word means in that second example. Means is a verb, and now I have this proper relationship established. Now, that said, just because you're using by doesn't mean the next word has to be a verb. If you go back up and look at our example number 4, the word that comes after by is a pronoun. So this is not something that you're going to be dealing with a lot, but you do need to recognize that if you do have a verb, you usually do need to have a verb after the word by. Even if you're not a second language learner, prepositional phrases can be a very difficult thing for students to understand. And if you've seen the video I have on subject verb agreement, we talk a lot about prepositional phrases and using them to find the true subject of our sentence. Because if you remember from that video, the subject of a sentence can never be inside of a prepositional phrase. There's 2 basic parts to a prepositional phrase. It starts with the preposition itself, and then it ends when you come to a noun or a pronoun. And so you see here in our example sentence, of the hill is our prepositional phrase. It starts with the preposition of, and it ends when we get to the noun hill. And I know that hill cannot be the subject of this sentence because it's part of my prepositional phrase, which means that house would have to be the subject of this sentence. And so, again, if you have more questions on that, make sure you check out the video on subject verb agreement. If you have any questions about prepositions or any of the issues that these videos talk about, please feel free to send me an email at the email address you see there on the screen. You're welcome to come by my office during the office hours that are listed in your syllabus. Our tutors in L200 are eagerly waiting to help you out and help you become a better writer. And then if you're one of our distance learners that doesn't come up to campus, feel free to check out one of my favorite grammar websites put on by Purdue University, and you see that address there on your screen.